Welcome to another episode of Cooking with Steve. Today we will be making a very popular Cantonese dish. It's called Singapore for a rice noodle. The noodle that I'll be using will be this thin rice noodle. It comes dry and we have about a pound here. Once we reconstitute it in water, it becomes nice and pliable like this. And in this dish we have a number of different proteins and vegetables. For those that are vegetarian, you could always use something like replace all the protein with tofu. We have eggs, 3 eggs. We have some chicken breast. We have some shrimp. And so what I've done with these shrimp is I have deshelled them and deveined them. And I have put in some salt and let it sit for about 10 minutes. And then I rinse them off with water for about another 10 minutes. This will result in a much firmer shrimp once you cook it. So we also have some char siu, or barbecue pork. I roasted it this morning. We will be putting together another video in the near future that shows you how to make your own barbecue pork. We have some red pepper, shiitake mushroom, green onions, a medium to large onion, some celery, and about half a pound of bean sprouts that you can get at your local supermarket. All right, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take these green onions and I will be slicing them. We'll be slicing them on a diagonal. You will see that this looks a little bit nicer once you've cooked them. We have some shiitake mushroom. Remove the stem for this one, and we'll just slice them nice and thin like this. Celery, we'll also cut on diagonal. And the reason we do this is not only for presentation, but because if you look at the stalk of celery, all the fibrous runs lengthwise, and if you cut them on a diagonal, all the lengthwise pieces are now shorter. So you're not going to be chewing on fibrous celery. All right, so that's done. We take our onion. We are going to be cutting these peppers lengthwise. So again, it's more for presentation. All right, all our vegetables are done. Let's cut into our barbecue pork. And the last and final thing is to cut up the chicken and marinate it. Right, let's put our chicken in here. Just gonna wash my hands, be right back. We are gonna marinate this with a little bit of soy sauce, just a little bit, about half a teaspoon. Heaping teaspoon of cornstarch, a little bit of sugar, just a pinch, a little bit of white pepper, and we're going to put in some vegetable oil, and we're going to put in a little bit of salt, so about half a teaspoon, and then mixing this up. All right, so all the ingredients are ready. We'll let this marinate for about 10 minutes and we'll be ready to fire up the wok. Let's fire up the wok. Burner is on. The wok is nice and hot. We're going to put in 3 tablespoons of oil and we're going to take our scrambled egg. Here we go. Take our scrambled egg. And we're gonna scramble. So what we're gonna be doing is we're gonna be cooking each ingredient separately. This way, different things don't overcook. If you're cooking them all at the same time, then they tend to overcook. All right, so nice hot wok. There we go. Scrambled eggs, all scrambled, ready to come out. We're just gonna put it in this bowl here. All right. Next, we are going to pan fry our shrimp. Tablespoon of oil. There we go. Put our shrimp in. A little bit of salt, 1/4 teaspoon. Again, it's so hot that all the oil is vaporizing. So you have virtually no oil in here, even though we put in a whole tablespoon. You may have to add just a little bit more. So you'll see me always adding oil, but most of it's just getting vaporized, as you see, up into the air. Just a splash of penny cooking wine. Gives the shrimp a nice flavor. All right, shrimps are done. Next, we're going to be cooking our chicken. 3 tablespoons. While the chicken is cooking, you'll see that we've drained our noodles nice and dry at this point. So again, we want to, with any meat, we want to make sure we try and caramelize it as much as we can. Gives it a little bit more depth of flavor. Chicken is cooked. Out it comes. Out of the bath, as they say. All right. Next, we're gonna stir fry a little bit of our vegetables. Again, a tablespoon of oil. We're gonna put in our onions and peppers, celery, our shiitake mushrooms. We're gonna put in our barbecue pork as well. And we're gonna reserve our green onion when we add our bean sprouts. Okay, we're gonna put a little bit of salt in, 1/4 teaspoon. A little bit of Chinese cooking wine. Now a little bit of sesame oil. All right, here we go. Out they come, out of the bath. Okay. Now a little bit of oil. Now we're gonna work on the noodles. We have a curry powder. This is a Madras curry powder that I use. Very common in Chinese cooking, for that matter, Indian cooking. Here we go. In go the noodles. We're gonna add a tablespoon of salt. A lot of noodle here. And we're gonna put in a heaping tablespoon of curry powder. Now if you notice the noodles are starting to get a little bit dry, we're gonna add a little bit of water to it. And my trusty tongs. I cannot say enough about using tongs when you're making noodles. So basically you keep frying these until the color is uniform. All the curry powder is mixed uniformly within the noodle. We're going to put in a bit of soy sauce. A tablespoon or 2. We're almost there. Put in our green onions. And we're going to put in our bean sprouts. So at this point, we're not going to cook it very long. Just mix these thoroughly. All right, I think we're done. Let's give this a try, shall we? Oops. All right. If you like it spicier, put more curry powder. The noodles are nice and chewy. The bean sprouts are still crunchy. Give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Feel free to leave comments at the end of this video. Thank you for joining us for Cooking with Steve. Hope to see you again soon.